Okay. Hello everyone. Okay. Can we all hear me? So I'm about to kickstart the training. And we're live. At the end of the training, I will share the video links to you. Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, we are 22 minutes behind schedule due to some changes in the telecommunication charges across Nigeria. So this has kind of affected the way we run, but hopefully we should be able to cover more grounds today. Please, if you can see my screen, indicate. I would like to see some indications if you can see my screen. Okay. Please remember, this should be an open class whereby you ask questions, I answer your questions. Anything that is unclear to you, you ask. That gives me more room to know where you're good at and where I should focus more my attention on. So you can only help me by helping. You can only help yourself by helping me, by letting me know what are the things I need to touch on. So please hold. I'm trying to locate the project you're working on. Okay. So in today's class, we'll be focusing more on link. How to create a link and how to work with links. So I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to name it links. So O3 underscore links. So before I move on for today's class, do anybody have a question they would like to ask? Maybe something they would like me to touch on, the videos they've watched, the personal exercises they've done that they would like me to touch on before we move fully into today's class. Anybody, please? I'm waiting. If you don't have anything, please drop some thumbs up. Drop some thumbs up in the you don't have any question to ask, drop some thumbs up. And you're raising your hand. I said drop some thumbs up. If you click on those three bar, you will see some emoji. Exactly. Okay, one person drop a thumbs up. What about the rest of us? Any question? Okay, I'll proceed in today's class by creating my index.html page, because this is what will be serving as my landing page. When we run our server, what the server will see first will all be popping up on this link. So let's recreate this. We have the content here, and in this portion I will say links, because we want to be working with links. So let's start by saying h1 links. That means we are dealing with links, and we'll proceed. P for paragraph, lorem ipsum, and we'll create another new file. We'll call it about.html. And inside of it, I'll create the necessary document. So let's say this is about links. And in here, we'll create an h1 about links. So we'll create a paragraph here, and we'll create this. So what's a link in HTML? Links, or we call it hyperlinks, are what we use to show or join multiple pages together, whereby we can redirect a user when they click on a certain text or image or any object on our browser, any content, and they are being able to be redirected to a new page. That's what links is all about. So let me come to my index.html. I come down to these three bar. I go to run, and I say start the bulb. I select Chrome because that's how I want to display my content. I want to display it on the Chrome browser. So we are waiting for it to pop up, and here it is. So if I bring this to the left, sorry, to the right, I will click on this so that it will be on the left. For me to bring this item to the left, that's this browser, to the right, I press my window button, and I press the arrow, the right arrow key. So that's what enables us to create these multiple pages. Can anybody still hear me? Can anybody still hear me? Sorry, something went wrong with my mic. Can you guys hear me now? And secondly, can you see my screen? Can you guys see my screen? Hello, are we here?
Yeah, but I'm not saying your school.
Somebody has just said they can see my screen, so please check. Roll up, swipe your screen downward. You should be able to see it at the top.
It's not showing.
Okay, reload, log out and log in again. Log out.
It's now showing.
Okay, that's nice. Now, I've created multiple pages. This is my index page, and I also have my about.html page. How can now create a reference that when I click on a link, it should direct me to this about.html? All I need to do is to come here and create the A tag, which we refer to as the anchor tag. So inside of it, I will just type the word home. I will create a pipe, that's a vertical line. I'll press A again, and I'll say this is about. Now, if I refresh this page, either clicking this or this one, I have two links here, or let me say two texts. If I click here, nothing happens. In a similar way, if I click here, nothing happens. So how can I then create a reference to open up this page for me? By me clicking on this about. All I need to do is to come to the href here, to the A tag rather, the anchor tag. You can see they say if the A element has an href attribute, then it represents an hyperlink. A hyperlink anchor labeled by its content. You can read more of it on the MDN reference. So let's say I come here and say href. In between the href, I can say about.html. The very minute I say about.html, I have made this A tag, the second one here, I've given it a reference. If I reload here, can you see? We now have a styled A tag. You can see it has a blue color and it has an underlining text. So to do the same thing for the A tag, now I want you to watch the difference before it has an href and when it has an href. When I put my mouse here, the type of cursor it shows is like you want to edit a text. However, when I put my cursor here, it changes into an and, because this becomes a clickable content that has an hyperlink to a specified destination. Without the href, we can't have this design. Which means if I come here and I say href, without specifying anything in it, if I reload, can you see we have a link? Now you can see that the colors are different. We'll get to the difference in a few minutes. Let's just achieve our goal. Currently this one is blue because the page has not yet been visited. Now if I come here and I say index.html, which is the current page I am, if I reload, it is showing purple because it is an already visited page. So all I need to do is to copy all of this and bring it to this my about.html, and I paste it below here. So if I reload again and I click on this about, I have created an hyperlink to my specified destination, which is another page. So now you can see we have the home, we also have the about. We have two separate links we can navigate through. I can come here and I can as well go here. So the choice is mine where I want to go. So if I click on this about, it is this same page. But if I click on this home page, it takes me back to the index page because we specified in the href that the destination is index.html, but the content, which is this, which appears on the browser, is home. If you could remember, I said an element is only used to determine how a content will appear. So when a page loads, you won't see the element because the element, that's the opening tag and the closing tag, only determine how to display our content and nothing more. Questions, guys? Do anybody have any question? Any question, please? Any question from anybody?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. On the landing page for that about, do you really need to put the about link in the about since we are in the about already?
It's not needed. It's not compulsory.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I did it that way is because by standard, you see these links, they are kind of replica. They are being replicated across multiple pages. More as if all of this link, the way it is, it will be on your own page, about, contact, all the pages that your website will have it. So that's why I just did it that way. So it is not a must that it should appear. I just have to put it there so that to have consistency in appearance across all the pages I'm going to create. That's just it.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Any other person with question? Any other question? Okay, let's proceed. Now, how do I style this? I can simply come here, create an external CSS file. So if I say style.css, meaning this is where I want to put my styling, I can come to my index page. In between here, I will just say link, select the CSS. Remember, this relationship is very important. Without it, my CSS will not work. And this href is pointing to the style file. It's an external style file that we are attaching to this document. So in a similar way, I will come to the About Us page and I will type link, select CSS, and I have the same thing. So I've successfully linked my style.css to it. Now let's style it. if I come here, I press A, I'm telling my browser that every element that has the A tag, which we refer to as an anchor tag, all of them should be styled in this manner. So let me put the color braces. I press enter. Then I can say, first and foremost, I don't want the text decoration. Now, text decoration is this line you're seeing below. So I want to change it to none. If I reload my page now, you can see that the underlining is no longer there. In a similar way, I can come down here and say I want text transform. I don't want my text to be the way it is. I want everything to be uppercase, that's capitalized. Instead of it to be like a capitalized, that's the first letter is capital and other are small letter. Just exactly the way I typed it here. I want to transform everything to capital letter. So that's what this text transform means. If I refresh here, you can see across all the pages, both of them are capital letter, no underlining. Now, if you notice something, before the page was visited, this was not the color. What I mean to say, the color was initially blue until the page became visited. And again, you might have come across several instances whereby somebody puts their mouse on a particular link and the styling of that link changes. How do we do this? We achieve this using what we call pseudo class and pseudo elements. So how do we create a pseudo class or a pseudo element? All I need to do is to come down here and press A tag, because we are still referring to the A tag. That's what I want to make changes to. So I'll put colon like this. Now when I say colon, I'm about to attach a pseudo class. So double colon is for pseudo element, which we will get to later. But let's put this pseudo class. I will just say over. Now this over means when you put your mouse over this content, that's when your mouse come across this content like this. I've not yet clicked it, my mouse just come on top of it. What should happen? First and foremost, I want the text decoration to be underlined. That's one. I want my text color, so I will just say color here. I want it to be green. Let's just hold it that way. Now, if I refresh here, everything is still the same. But the very minute I put my mouse on it, can you see the effect? Let me put my mouse here too. Can you see the effect? So we are using this pseudo class to create a scenario whereby when somebody put their mouse on top the links, the design changes. So this is pseudo class. Now if you could remember, when we had a link like this, let me add this. Let's say we have an A tag and it's to link us to contact.html, and here I say contact us. Now you will all agree with me that we don't have a file called contact here. Neither do we have a link that exists. So if I refresh, I go to the home page, you can see that currently the contact us page the default color it has is blue. That's because the pseudo class called unvisited, by default the browser has set the color to be blue, and the browser has set all our link color to be purple for visited pages. So the ones that are unvisited should be blue, and that's why you're seeing this blue, and that's because it does not exist. So even if I click here, it should say your file could not be accessed, which agree with the fact that the file does not exist. So what if I want to change the design? All I need to do is to come here and add a pseudo class. So I can say a colon unvisited visited or visited. Okay, sorry, we don't have a studio class for unvisited. We only have a studio class for visited. That means pages that we have visit. Although if you want to change this one color now, you can do the general a link changing. I will explain what I mean. These visited are these pages we have already visit. That's why they are purple. So if I come here and I say any page that has been visited, change the color to, let's say, blue. Let's use crimson. So if I refresh now, can you see the color has changed? Because there are pages that has already been visited. Now to make the ones that are unvisited, I have to do the general a tag, or I say a link. So if I come here now, that means all links, in as much as it has been visited, it has not been visited. I want the color to be aquamarine. So if I refresh here, can you see that the color change? The aquamarine is not bringing it properly. So let's say brown. So if I refresh, can you see the brown color? Do anybody have any question? Questions, please. Any question? Any question? Okay. So this is how we add studio classes and studio elements, and this is how we can transform our links. Now let's go deeper. There's something we call relative link and absolute links. We will talk about the path later. Let's just know what we call relative and absolute in simple terms. Now, if you look at this, the way we refer to this index page is just by saying index.html. And that's because where we have this index.html and aboutus.html is still in the same folder, meaning they are related to each other. What if we want to add an external link? Maybe I want to create a link here in my About Us page that if you click on, it should take you to Facebook. Maybe the Facebook login. In order for us to achieve it, we know Facebook is a third-party application that we can integrate to our app, like our website that we're building. So I want to create a reference to it. If I come here and say facebook.com, just the same way we are saying index.html, about.html, facebook.com. If we do it this way, it will assume that in this our file explorer, that's our project folder, there is a file called facebook.com which does not exist. So if I click here now, it will show your file could not be accessed because there's nothing called facebook.com in our folder here. So what can we do to make a difference? All I need to do is to put https:// Now the www dot is optional, or if you can add it if you want. But we saying http. Remember I said in our beginning of our class, the beginning of the class when we were talking about the web, I made it known that the way we can transfer file from the server through to the client is through the hypertext transfer protocol. So what we are trying to access is a separate server that is out of the scope of our local PC. This one here. So if you refer to it by simply saying facebook.com, it will assume you are accessing a file between your file explorer, which does not exist as well. So if I come back here, this is everything. I refresh. I click on this Facebook link. The very minute I click, can you see? Now that is being made possible because I said https. So on clicking on it, I have this. Questions, please. Mr. Matthew, question. Ifan, question. Daniel, question. Abiola, question. Maria, question. I await your question. Or are you guys trying to tell me you understand what I just did?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I understand that when you are trying to do the text and all, you put it in the curly brackets, and when you want to do the change the mouse, the cursor as in color and this thing, you use the pseudo class. Is it not possible to do the over inside the curly brackets? Why we need to use the colon? I mean the semicolon also. Why do we need to use that? Is it not going to work? Since it's the same tag, a tag, why can't we use it? Why can't we put everything in that same bracket? Why do we need to why do we need to use the pseudo classes again?
Are you talking about the CSS?
Yes, the styling.
So your question is?
So my question is, when you want to change the text decoration and the color for the cursor, you use the pseudo classes.
Okay.
Is it not possible to do everything in the first part of the A tag that you use the curly brackets?
Okay. Now, if I remove all of this, I can just comment it out. And I refresh. Everything is back to this color. Okay, let me say this color should be blue. Everything is back to this color. Meaning all the link will be blue. Can you see? Regardless of where you are clicking at. Everything is blue. but I want to add special effects. I believe you've seen some link whereby just for you to put your mouse over it without clicking, just putting your mouse over it will change the design. You might have seen this on several pages or several websites. In order for us to do that, that's why we need our studio class. So let me bring this back first, and let me remove this. So let's say I want to just do the one that once I put my mouse over it, it should change by me just putting my mouse over it. Currently now, if I put my mouse over it, nothing happens. It's just the same way the link has always been. What if I want to make a syntax whereby when I put my mouse over it, the design should change? That's where we need this studio class called over. So this over studio class will add an effect, which is this CSS declaration, that when I put my mouse on top of this without doing anything, the design should change. So watch this. If I refresh it and I put my mouse there, just putting my mouse. So you can style everything as an A tag, but when you want to start adding some special effects, that's where you add your studio class or studio element. Did I answer you, Mr. Matthew?
Okay, now I understand. That means if you want to add special effects, it can't go under the first declaration. So we need to use that to make that to happen.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Please, a round of applause for him. I want you guys to clap for him. He did a very good job there. So I have shown you some handshakes. Don't raise your hand. Clap for him. Clap for him. Don't raise your hand. Nice. Nice. So that's where this effect comes. Now, about the external files, a third-party link, because you're requesting for an external file in a different website, you have to put your HTTP or HTTPS, your hypertext transfer protocol. That's what this simply means. But if you notice something, if I click on this text now, that's Facebook, I click on it, one thing happens. The place where I have my website, which is the one I'm working on, that's the same place, that's the same tab that the Facebook load. What if I want a scenario whereby if I click on it, it should open in a new tab? How can we do that? All you need to do is to add an attribute called target. So when I say target, I will say underscore blank. That underscore blank is an indication that when you click on this Facebook link, that's this Facebook itself, instead of reloading it on this tab, that's this window, go and open it in a separate window. So if I click here, can you see it? So it is no longer opening it here, it is opening it on a separate page. So that's how you create multi-link stats, as in multi-tabs, opening a new tab by default. Now let's talk about bookmark. What's a bookmark? And what's the usefulness of a bookmark? I want to show you a website to give you a clear view of what a bookmark is. So I would like all of us to go to wikipedia.org. Let us all move to wikipedia.org. So let's say I search for HTML, meaning I want to learn HTML in Wikipedia. the largest encyclopedia online. Now I want you guys to notice something. There's something called table of contents here, whereby I can easily click on one thing. Let's say I click on this history. It takes me down to the history. If I roll up, you can see this is the beginning of the page. If I scroll down, this is history. These are all of the HTML declarations. That's their versions. And if you scroll down, you see a markup tag, as in a whole lot of information about it. Now I can easily move across multiple content by just clicking on this. So let's say I click on development now. It took me up to the section that discussed development. We call this bookmarking. Let's say I click on history, same thing. Let's say I click on top. It took me to the top. And I can, if you guys recall, if you visit multiple web pages, you will see a scenario. So let's say I come to runcloud.com.ng, our official website. I'm waiting for it to load. Please let me close all of this down. No, I don't need them. I'm waiting for it to load up. Okay. I don't know why it's taking forever to load. I think I have it on this Steve Johnson Maritime as well. This is one of your co-students' websites. After he was done with the WordPress class, this was his project, and it is live. Unfortunately, he's not with us today. I heard he was on a trip. Okay, what I'm going to show you is just the back to top button. If you notice on multiple websites, there's always a link here that always has this back to top. I think my browser is giving me the issue. It's loading here. Could this be network issue? Okay, I want you guys to see this official website. Our official website. If I scroll down a bit and I keep scrolling, there's this back to top button, whereby if I'm at the bottom of it and I click on this, the very minute I click, it takes me back to the top. How were all this type of pages achieved? That's what we'll be focusing on in today's class. So first thing first, it is called bookmarking. And how do we do bookmarking? Let's say we are here on the index page, which is the home page, and I want to create multiple content so that we have a whole lot of documents to work with. So let's say I have this H2 called hello guys, and beneath it I will give it a paragraph, the same response. I will duplicate as many as I want. So all I need to do is to go to the preferred, which is this H2, and I will give it an ID. So let me call it boot. I can name it anything. It's user defined. I just want to use the word boot. Now I want to create a link here in the home page. If you notice, if I scroll down, it takes me a long time before I get to where it is. So I want to create a scenario at this top, whereby if I click, it will just take me directly to where this link is. How can I achieve that? All I need to do is to come here, say a tag, then in between here I'll just say greet. That's, I want it to take me to that greet. Now remember, it is still on the same page. That it is still this index page that I have this hello guys. So all I need to do is to say hash, because that's how we capture an ID, and I will say boot, which is the name we gave it. So if I come back here and I refresh, I have the greet link. So if I click on it, it just takes me directly down to that section. So that's how we create bookmarks. Once I click it here, it brings me directly here. Now let's create the same link here. I come to the about us page, I put a pipe, a vertical line, and I say a tag. Remember, it is called greet, and in between, if I say hash boot, which is the ID we give it, and I move into my about us page. This is my about us page. You can see the greet here. The very minute I click on it, nothing happens. I'm clicking, nothing is happening. Why are we not having any effect? Now the answer is simply because when I say booked here, hash boot, it is checking if we have any ID in this about us.html called hash booked. But unfortunately, we don't. There is no link here called booked. There is no ID rather called booked. Where we have the ID called booked is in our index.html, which is down here. So how can I make a reference to it? All I need to do, in front of the hash boot, I just have to say index.html hash boot. Meaning, I want this link, when it is being clicked on, it should redirect us to the section called book inside our index.html. So if I refresh here and I click on the grid, can you see? It created the redirection. So do anybody have any question? Do anybody have any question? Okay. No question. So in today's class, we've covered all the necessary links, all the necessary things we need to know, the basis about link. If you want to know more about link, you can read the material, or you go to MDN Web Docs. It's a Mozilla Web Docs page. What is this thing? So if I come here, it's called MDN Web Docs. So let's say we want to learn about HTML. All the properties you need to know, all the documentation you need to know about HTML. So if you want to know about a particular element, which is the A tag, the one we worked on today, you can just click here, and this is it. It explains everything you need to know about it, every aspect of it, all the attributes it can carry, all the elements, the studio class, the classes, extensions, everything you need to know. Everything is stated here. In tomorrow's class, in our next class, apologies, we'll talk about media, where we'll be talking about image, video, and audio. So do anybody have any question? So this is where you learn it. Go to developer.mozilla.org. All of the things you need to know about it is stated there. So Mr. Matthew, question. Mr. Daniel, question. Mr. Ifan, question. Any question? So, with no further ado, another set of assignments will be sent to us today. Please, if you go to the classroom, there is a student guide and policy on the classroom. I will want to urge each and every one body to go and read it, because that is what will determine your certification. So it's inside the classroom. And all of the classes we've had, you will see it there. The assessment rather. And please submit your assignments. So this is the student guide and policy. Student guide and policy. So just go through it and attend your assignment as well. So with this and more, I will see us in our next class. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.